Hey guys, it's Dan, your host, your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for the Walking Dead universe, and in today's video we're going to be doing a discussion topic video talking about the Doma, Madame Genet, and Major General Beale, and will they be the final big antagonists of the Walking Dead franchise? Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe, and in today's video we're going to be doing another video. This one is discussing the overall Walking Dead franchise leading into 2024, with the recent news and introduction in the newest teaser for The Ones Who Live of Major General Beale. Now that we have our three main Walking Dead villains outlined for next year, I want to discuss the possibilities of, do we think that the Doma, Madame Genet, and Major General Beale will be the final antagonists of the Walking Dead franchise. So this is a pretty big topic because obviously, when I say final antagonist, obviously I do mean final antagonist is that, as in the shows are going to be concluding and then that'll be it for Walking Dead. Are these three villains right here and then that'll be it, right? So that's what we're going to discuss in this video. Now, we have been building up to a lot of these characters for a lot of, different points in time. Dama, I would say, is the character we had the least amount of build up for. She kind of just popped up. She was kind of just a character that was revealed to be the bigger boss of New York City and not the Croat. So she was kind of like a throw-off villain, you know what I mean, for The Walking Dead, Dead City. And that show is obviously 6 years, ahead in the timeline from Ones Who Live and Daryl Dixon. As a matter of fact, I think Ones Who Live is probably going to be taking place even further back than that, because we're going to have to tell some backstory of how Rick got where he got, right? So it's going to be even further than that. But point being, Dead City is the furthest in the timeline. Things have happened since then in other shows that, we don't know yet, right? So that's what makes Dead City really intriguing. Now, with Daryl Dixon, we have Madame Genet, who is, I would say, an even bigger villain than the Dama, because the Dama is kind of just running things with her group in the city. That's kind of all we know about her. Madame Genet, on the other hand, is doing experiments on walkers in France. And there are a whole bunch of different type of walkers, these pumped up walkers that their heads blow up sometimes if they get too intense, And it's a pretty intimidating threat. Not to mention, she gives me the vibe that she has a lot more soldiers than the Dama in New York City. She seems to be building more towards, some kind of, virus, some kind of zombie something. I don't know what the hell she's doing, but she definitely has more of an importance, I would say, than the Dama, for sure. And then finally we have the king of it all. Now we have the major boss, the Major General Beale. So, he is the big boss Walking Dead, the equivalent to Bowser in Mario, or, or I guess Walter White in Breaking Bad, the big final boss, that kind of thing, right? That's what Major General Beale feels like. So, is he going to be the one that lasts the longest out of all these threats? Absolutely. In my opinion, he will. In terms of death predictions for these three villains, this is kind of how it goes. It would be Dama would probably die in either late season 2 of Dead City or maybe in a third season if they want to really establish the character. Madame Genet, I could see her going until maybe, third, fourth season of Daryl Dixon. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever that show decides to wrap up, she'll be the main antagonist for that show. And then Major General Beale, I think, is going to be a step higher than both of them. I think he will be the main antagonist of The Ones Who Live and the main antagonist of this crossover series that Scott Gimple is writing. Which, if you're not aware, Scott Gimple did confirm at New York Comic Con that he is planning a crossover Walking Dead event, a Walking Dead crossover series, which is going to include all of the different spin-offs that we're watching right now. And it's going to come together into one big thing, right? Which a lot of people are wondering, will that be the end game of The Walking Dead? Will that be the Avengers end game of The Walking Dead universe, if you will? That is definitely a very good question. That is definitely a very good question to kind of ask. Now, in my opinion, I think that would be the best decision for Walking Dead. And the reason why I say that is because they don't get bigger than this, if you ask me. Major General Beale in charge of 100,000 some people, I think, total. You know, you get Madame Genet over there in France doing her thing, and then the Doma who's running New York. You don't get a bigger villain than that. Unless The Walking Dead wants to go really out there and start including like outer space in the conversation, and they start doing some really crazy shit, planet wars and crazy ass shit like that. I don't know if they have something like that planned. But unless they plan on going that far, I think this is the biggest villain groups you could ever ask for the Walking Dead universe. And especially hearing Scott Gimple, you know, doing a crossover event series at some point or another, I definitely think, and I will say, I advise them to make this the final villains of the Walking Dead. If they don't, and then they somehow make other villains about, you know, just random groups that want to take supplies from others, like, we've done this dance before. That's more so why I'm saying this definitely has to be the final villain trio of the Walking Dead universe. Dama will go first, I think. Then Genet will go, you know, second, a good ways into it. But the final antagonist of The Walking Dead needs to be Major General Beale. He's the guy that's killed the most people. He's the guy that's been responsible for the most deaths in terms of ordering his soldiers to kill an entire, you know, colony of people. Like, he is the big boss of The Walking Dead. Dama and Genet are kind of your build-ups. They're very big. But then I think Major General Beale is our final Walking Dead boss. He is the Bowser of The Walking Dead. He is the Walter White of The Walking Dead. The Night King of the Daenerys of Game of Thrones and all that stuff. So yeah, you know, that's what he is. That's what I think he is, at least. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that opinion. Let me know. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos of the Walking Dead franchise. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of the Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.